This podcast is not here to inspire you. It's here to make you think. You'll probably get uncomfortable, and that is the point. Because real growth starts when comfort ends. And if you want to lead, influence, or build anything with real sustainable impact, you can't afford to keep your head in the sand. I'm Elizabeth, your host, and this is What's Actually Happening, the truths behind human behavior, power, and leadership that you can't unsee once you hear them. Let's get into it. If I asked you to run a company with a team you've never met, never even trained, who make decisions without your input and deploy themselves whenever they feel like it, you'd likely tell me that's an inevitable disaster, a leadership failure. I am not opting into that, and you would be right to say that. But that's exactly what most of you are doing with your internal operating team. Your nervous system, which is your brain and body working together, deploys what I like to call soldiers. Protective patterns trained in stress, built to keep you safe. And you didn't even know they existed. Which means this whole time wasn't necessarily a you problem. In fact, your entire adult life, you've likely been letting a team you've never trained make decisions about important things like risk, power, conflict, and control, all before your conscious mind ever got a vote. So this is not a you need more discipline type of problem. This is a who the fuck is in charge here type of problem. Now imagine this scenario. You're in a meeting and someone challenges a blind spot in your work. Before you know it, your gut hits the floor like an elevator dropping. Your chest almost feels like an elastic band snapping across it or compressing. Your molars squeeze tightly shut. Heat rises from your lower back all the way to your head. And before you've consciously decided anything, you find yourself doing one or many of the following. Flustered and checking your notes. Getting ready to bury them with facts. Smoothing it over with a joke. Shutting down so you don't make another mistake. And you didn't choose any of that, but one of your soldiers did. There are 5 of them. They've been with you for years, decades, maybe. And under stacked stress, they auto-deploy. You think you're choosing your response, but your soldier chose it 3 seconds ago while you were still processing what was said. And the mission? Keep you safe, usually with a pattern you learned in childhood. And sorry, no one is above this part. It does not matter how mature you are. And over the next few weeks, we'll go deep on each soldier, how they form, when they serve you, when they wreak havoc. But today, I'm giving you an overview. So meet your team. We're starting with the fixer, the Swiss Army knife of life's problems, your crisis specialist. Optimal in preventing problems and handling them. And they often respond to orders with, I'm fine. I can take care of it. Don't worry, I got it. Give it to me, I'll do it. They're set off when responsibilities are getting dropped or avoided. Anything that might result in chaos, failure, or being caught off guard. They don't like that. Their strengths are they're highly resourceful. They will MacGyver their way out of anything. But their weaknesses happen because they rarely ask for help, won't even say no when they're drowning. And let's just say that does get tiring. Next up, the controller. Often mistaken for the leader of the group, they are the stability officer, there to provide structure, routine, and analyze the plan. So yes, my inner control freaks, I can be one of them. This is an integral part of the team. It is not all bad. They respond to orders with It's not done that way. It has to be done this way. Or just let me handle it. Or why didn't you ask first? They tend to get triggered when there's unpredictability or plans change. They have loss of control over outcomes, people, or processes. Their strengths, they can coordinate and handle complexity so that others can focus. That is essential to allow other people to do their job on the team. Their weaknesses, they avoid opportunities that require trusting others. And in order to grow, you do have to let go of control. So the more tightly you hold on, the more stealing you have that you will never overcome unless you get the controller under the right plan. Our third soldier, the guardian, the protector of people, ethics, and when something feels off, wrong, or unfair, they will respond to orders with, they should admit what they did, or someone needs to take responsibility, or you just can't get away with that. They get triggered when there is an injustice happening in real time. Power is being misused or abused, or someone is being unfairly blamed or attacked. They are the champions of the underdog. Now, their strengths are moral courage to speak up when others won't. That is very important, especially in today's day and age. Fierce loyalty and commitment to people and principles. But their weaknesses are fighting battles on behalf of people that didn't ask for defense, or burning bridges to prove a point or defend a principle. And I am well versed with that guardian shadow side. That is one of my rogue soldiers that I will tell you about later on in this episode. Next up, the performer, your social specialist, the emotional thermostat of the room and high achieving extraordinaire. They manage perception through achievement and charm. They will respond to orders with, let's just keep things positive. I shouldn't make this a big deal. I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. I'll hit those numbers, no problem. Well, they get triggered when there's disapproval or disappointment directed at them. Risk of being disliked or rejected or being seen as incompetent can be very difficult for the performer. Their strengths, they are highly likable. People are naturally drawn to them. They read the room instantly and adapt. They can also easily shift the energy in the room, which is important, especially in stressful situations. But their weaknesses, well, very few know the real them. They're known for the performance, but not for the person. And that can leave them low-key terrified that people will discover their effortless work actually took effort. Our fifth soldier, the avoider, the threat minimizer, sometimes professional ghoster. Now they respond to orders with nothing. I'm partially kidding. They also may dance around the topic until you've forgotten what you were even speaking about or what you asked. They could say, yeah, maybe, or we'll see. Or when you run into someone that you haven't seen for years and decide to say, yeah, we should definitely get together, knowing full well that you're never going to do that. You're never going to cash in on that outing. They are triggered when someone asks a question that is going to feel exposing. The situation feels unpredictable or emotionally loaded. Or when the controller is over controlling, that is going to stifle and suffocate the avoider. They do have strengths though, because they will strategically withdraw from situations that generally are not worth engaging in. They protect boundaries by knowing when to step back, because not every fight is for you. Weaknesses, well, you may preemptively hit the eject button and run. Opportunities die because you weren't even there. And people stop trusting you because you are inconsistent or do not follow through. So, fun fact, these soldiers don't just deploy one at a time. No, that would be too easy. And for likely a group of overachievers, why would we do something easy? No, they run in combinations. And sometimes you've got a rogue soldier or a combo that is running your life. I'm going to give you a personal example from my own life, which is my combo of the fixer, the controller, and the guardian all running together, all running rogue ops. This scenario is around rest and work. Well, my rogue fixer says there's still more to do. We can do it. Just buck up and get it done. The controller says the plan says we should do this today and we need to stay on track. The guardian goes, we need to get this information out to people because we have to provide for ourselves and this matters. And together they say, I know I'm tired, but there's more to do and I can handle it. And if I stop now, this whole thing will fall apart and people need this work and I can't rest when there's injustice to fix. And yes, that's actually what goes through my brain. We've had many discussions, these three and I, because they still at this point, due to something in my life, don't trust rest yet. The fixer and the controller think that rest equals a critical collapse and losing all control, the wheels falling off the cart. The guardian thinks rest equals abandoning your mission and letting people down. So they keep me working, even when my body is screaming for recovery, for rest. And I have to override them every single time so that I can start building repetition. The integrator is me when I am regulated. That is who has to lead them and say, we're resting anyways. We need to. The work will be here tomorrow. People will still need it tomorrow. Sit down. Because in order for you to produce quality work and make strategic decisions, you need access to your regulation. You need access to a rested mind and body. That is the work. Not getting rid of the soldiers, but learning to lead them, which brings me to what is missing. The one in charge, the integrator, the commander, the part of you operating from regulation, not activation, not reaction, not being numb, but being present. It is the part that decides which soldier deploys when, that coordinates the team instead of letting them fight each other. When the commander is offline, your soldiers run autonomous. They make decisions for you. They fight each other. They deploy at the wrong time in the wrong situation for the wrong mission. That is dissension in the ranks, and it is exhausting. You will know the integrator is online when you can pause before responding. You forget about the aches and uncomfortable sensations in your body as a response to a situation or scenario. You can stop ruminating. You see multiple options instead of just one urgent move in front of you. When the integrator is online, you can deploy the right soldier for the actual situation. Access your full skill set, not just your survival patterns. You can lead them to a more advantageous outcome for all. Here's where most frameworks become unhelpful. They will tell you that some parts are good, some parts are bad. Heal the bad parts, get rid of the aggressive ones, make everything peaceful. In any military unit, you don't get rid of soldiers who fight and protect. You need them in combat. You don't try to make everyone besties. That's not their job. You don't shame soldiers for being aggressive. That is part of the job description. But you do train them when to deploy, on the rules of engagement. You give them clear missions and know your objectives so you can stay on course and actually get there and not get sidetracked with every side mission available. You coordinate them so there's no infighting, there's unified command. You update their orders because new terrain requires a new strategy. It is the same with your internal soldiers. The problem isn't the soldiers. It is the outdated missions they're running, like running Vietnam tactics right now in 2026. It is the fact that there is no commanding officer because the integrator has gone offline. It is the amount of friendly fire you are having because there's soldiers attacking you, you're attacking your soldiers, and everyone is fighting together. You actually need your whole team because you need the performer. They're there for social intelligence and morale, as well as connection. The avoider is the threat assessment, the risk minimization. Your controller is responsible for the structure and the planning and order. The fixer, well, that is your crisis response, your problem solving. And then the guardian is there for protection, boundaries, fight response. All of them serve a function. The problem is they're running old missions with no coordination and no commander. And then you're sitting there confused as to why life is not going how you want it to go and why you are surprised by your own reactions. The protocol: bring the integrator back online. Update the team missions. Coordinate them. Deploy them strategically. Right soldier, right situation. You aren't broken. You're not failing. You don't need more discipline. You just have a band of misfits running rogue. It's like G.I. Joe for adults. Over the next several weeks, we're going to go deep on each soldier, how they form, when they serve you, when they run you, and how to lead them. Next week, we are starting with the performer, the one who keeps everyone comfortable at the cost of your authentic needs, and then you wonder why you're burnt out. I'll see you then. And that's a wrap. See? That wasn't so bad, was it? Uncomfortable? Sure. But necessary. Because change doesn't happen from hopes and wishes, as nice as that would be. Come back for more truths you didn't want to hear, but will definitely think about later. Because this is what's actually happening. I'll see you on the next one.